Hey guys, Sam here with StudioSweat On Demand. Today I'll be leading you through a 45-minute workout. We have a hybrid of kettlebell strength work and bodyweight cardio. I'll start this with a 5-minute warm-up, and then we have 3 blocks of 3 different exercises. It will be 2 kettlebell strength exercises to 1 bodyweight cardio, and then we will have a quick cool down at the end. All you'll need for this workout today is a kettlebell. It's just 1 kettlebell, and you can have different weights, whatever works for you, and a mat. Go ahead and grab your equipment, and let's get ready to sweat.
Get even more StudioSweat On Demand with our 7-day free trial. We've got a huge library of live and on-demand workout videos, all filmed in our studio and featuring real people just like you. Download our app today.
All right, you guys, let's go ahead and hit the mat for our warm-up. First exercise is a low runner's lunge with a twist. So I'm gonna step my right foot outside the mat, bring my left knee and forearm down to the mat, and then squeeze that left glute, come up into your rotation, plant your palms, step back, and just continue alternating sides. This movement wakes up the whole body. It's a nice stretch on the hip flexors, getting a little bit of shoulder hip mobility, and some rotation in the spine. For the warm-up, we'll be in each movement for 45 seconds, and then in between each one, I'll show you the next movement. Try to take it nice and slow here as we get the body warmed up. This workout is going to be pretty intense, so we want to make sure that we get everything alive and awake and ready to go for this workout. We're here for about 10 more seconds, and I'll show you the next movement. Next one, we're going to start it in a pigeon position. I'll go ahead and take a rest, and we're going to take the right shin parallel as you can get it to the front of the mat, and then come down to the forearms, push your chest up. Now from here, all we do is lift that back knee, squeeze the glute, and then tap the knee right back down. So I'm squeezing that left glute and pushing down into the right thigh. And just be mindful that we're not allowing the shoulders to sink down, keep pressing up and away. The ears are up in line with shoulders so that we're not rounding or arching that upper back. So I'm feeling a good stretch on the right side outer thighs and that left side quad and hip flexor area. Here for just a couple more reps, and we'll switch sides and even it out. Let's go for 3 more here. Notice how that knee gets a little higher with each one, opening up that front of the back leg. Let's go ahead and switch sides. I like to come to that high plank position to switch. Down to the forearms, chest up, and repeat it on the other side. Take these nice and slow, and try to keep everything still in your trunk, so just that back leg is moving here. And just bring your awareness if you feel a difference to your right and left side. These exercises will kind of show you if there's any side that's extra tight, any imbalances here. Good way to open things up before we add some tension. Check in, make sure that we're not allowing the body to sink down. This is also good shoulder stability work here. We have just about 20 seconds left here. So most of these exercises in the warm-up are going to help open up the hips. We've got a lot of lower body stuff today, good mix of upper body as well, but always important to get the hip flexors stretched out because they're usually pretty tight in most people. We've got about 5 seconds here, and I'll show you the next movement. Let's go for 1 more rep. All right, and then the next one is going to start in this 90-90 position, so try to get, I'll go this way so you can see me. So you want to get both legs as close to 90 degrees as possible, arms across the chest. We're going to hinge forward, come down as much as you can while keeping a flat back, and then alternate to the other side. I'm just going to angle myself here, but you want to try to keep your feet down on the mat as you rotate. It's not going to be super easy to do, and if you need a little assistance, go ahead and take those hands behind you as you switch. Try to keep your spine as upright as possible. So flat back as you hinge. This is going to stretch out same muscles, kind of lubricating the hips, getting those outer thighs stretched out. We have just about 20 seconds here. And then with each one, see if you can lean a little bit further forward, stretching the spine. You can change the arms however you want. If you want to take those hands behind the head, whatever allows you to keep this area nice and straight. Let's go for 1 more here on the left, and then I've got 1 more move for you. Last one, we're going to come up onto our sit bones. So you're in a seated position, and your hands are behind you. So we're going to lift the hips up, reach one arm straight to the ceiling, and try to keep the hips square. Sit back down, and then switch the arms. So this is going to activate the back of the thighs, glutes and hamstrings, and then stretch out, again, the front side body. Our front side is usually really tight. That's why my warm-ups are usually focused on opening the front body, activating the back side. That way, once we get to our strength portion, we can feel the back side activating. Look straight out towards that hand. And we want to try to avoid reaching the arm back. Think of just going straight up. Once we reach back, it can put a little more pressure on the lower back than we want to. So try to keep most of that tension in the glutes and the hamstrings. Just a couple more here, and then we'll get right into this workout. All right, let's go for one more on each side. All right, so go ahead and even that out. I'll go ahead and show you the first movement of the routine. So first one, we have a kettlebell sumo 1.5 squat. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the heaviest kettlebell that I've got. Legs are really wide for that sumo position. And from here, we're gonna come down to the bottom of that squat. I'm just showing you it for now. We'll get into the intervals in just a second. 1.5 squat, and then come all the way back up. We're gonna start this in about 5 seconds. So you go all the way down to the bottom of that squat. We're here for 1 full minute. In 3, 2, and 1. So we take it down, keep the core braced. We're coming up halfway, lower down, and then rise all the way up, squeezing those glutes like you're splitting the mat apart with your heels as you come up. Now with this kettlebell, I have a very light grip with my hands, so I want to avoid squeezing it too hard with the forearms, just letting it rest in the bottom of my fingers. For the alignment, keep the same distance between your chin and your chest the whole time. So we have that straight line from your ears, shoulders, ribs to hips. Control these movements, so the half rep is not a pulse, not a bounce, it's just a smaller range of motion. We've got about 20 more seconds here. So the first movement is going to be a little bit lower intensity. Second movement will pick up the intensity. And then the third one is no kettlebell, just body weight, high intensity. Let's go for 2 more here. We'll have a 15-second recovery. I will show you the next one. All right, cool. So go ahead and take a quick rest. Next one is an alternating kettlebell swing. I'm going to angle this way so I have some room on the mat. So we're going to swing the kettlebell back in one hand, and then as you bring it up, switch sides. This is a good variation if you have any lower back sensitivity. Always recommend doing single arm instead of both arms. We start in 3, 2, and 1. So that kettlebell goes back behind the heels, and then as you come up, keep your glutes and core engaged. We're trying to avoid rotating the hips. Just the upper body gets a little bit of rotation here. Eyes are looking straight at the kettlebell as you swing it up, and then down in between your feet as you swing it back. Try to keep a soft bend into those knees as you swing it up. All right, we're about halfway there. We have 30 seconds to go here. Now I have different kettlebells in case it gets too heavy. Always feel free to drop set. Go to a lighter weight if you need to. Hips are coming all the way back over the heels as you swing it up. And try to keep those arms relaxed. Their legs and core get all of the tension. 15 seconds. All right, final 10. I'll show you that cardio move next. Let's go 2 more each side. All right, go ahead and even it out. We have 15 seconds until our cardio move. So this one starts in a plank position. We have 3 plank jacks. Oh, I'm tripping. It's standing up. This one's on your feet. You have 3 jumping jacks, 1 star jump. So 3 jacks. That third one is a star jump. Ooh, out of breath. We start in 3, 2, and 1. So 3 jacks. After that third one, come down, star jump, and do it again. Try to stay light on your feet. And again, you don't have to go super fast with these. Heart rate is already up quite a bit. All right, so just keep breathing, keep moving. Try to roll through those feet as you land. All right, we're just halfway there. 20 seconds. So I won't be queuing a lot for the cardio ones. It's pretty intense to talk while you're doing cardio. Okay, 15 seconds here. Let's go 2 more. Okay, 1 more time. Okay, quick rest. Whew. We're gonna go right back to the top. 10 seconds here, back to that kettlebell sumo squat. I'm gonna go a little bit lighter on this second round. Let's go in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So halfway up, back down, all the way up, and back down. So take it nice and slow. The heart rate's already up from that cardio movement. So you wanna kind of slow it down, focus on more strength. Head stays aligned with spine. Kettlebell is light in your hands. Keep the core braced like you have a corset around the midsection and drive into the heels as you stand up. Okay, 10 seconds here. Let's go one more time. All right, quick rest. We'll go into those alternating swings. Make sure to catch your breath in between these movements so we can start with our full intensity. 10 seconds. Big breaths in through the nose and then deep breaths out through the mouth. 5 seconds. Back to those swings in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Just check the neck alignment. Check the weight distribution. It's mostly in the heels of your feet. The goal is to get the kettlebell back as far as you can, and you want to swing it no higher than your belly button. That way the arms are not taken over. Maybe go for a little more range of motion each set. Maybe go for a heavy weight if you're feeling it. A little over halfway there. Okay, 20 seconds left here. See how my spine stays in one straight line, trying to avoid arching or rounding the back. So let's go 4 more. All right, one more time, just even it out. All right, and then take that rest. 15 seconds, we'll go into those 3 jacks and 1 star jump. Catch your breath. 5 seconds. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Keep the core braced so that we're not bouncing too much. So still here on the time. We've got about 15 seconds left and we'll go through this one more time. Maybe 2 more to go. Starting to feel that sweat dripping. Okay, let's go for 1 more rep. All right, take that quick rest. We got 1 more round. I'm gonna stick with that same weight, at least for the squats. We'll see what happens after that. Okay, 5 seconds, final round here. In 3, 2, and 1. So you go halfway up, control down, all the way up, and back down. Now whenever you squat, think of your hips going back first, and then your knees. This will give you the fullest range of motion, and then keep the tension into the correct muscles that we're trying to target. Remember that we have a light grip on that kettlebell. Final round, let's see if we can go maybe a little bit lower, maybe a little bit slower, so there's less momentum and more control. Halfway there already. Okay, let's go for 2 more here. Yeah, 1 more time. Okay, quick rest. You've got those swings. 1 more time. Last set here. 8 seconds. Set those feet. We'll start in 3, 2, and 1. Swing it back, and then swing it just about halfway up. Remember, this is mostly a hip movement, not so much about the knees or the arms. Think of leading with those hips. And then we want to avoid bringing your hips too far forward. As you come up, they're right over the heels. You want to make sure that they're not going any further forward than that. Looking at that kettlebell almost the whole time here. And it'll just help to keep your neck protected. Right, about halfway there. Make that switch light. So again, you're using the legs and the core. The arms are just a strap for that kettlebell. Final 15. All right, guys, couple more reps. Let's go 4 more. We get that cardio move 1 more time. In 3, 2, and 1. Take a rest. Okay, 1 more time with those jacks, and then I'll show you 3 new movements. Let's get set. We have 10 seconds here. Feet together, eyes to eye level. We'll go in 5, Last time here in 4, 3, 2, and 1. So notice with that star jump, I'm not going too crazy, not too big, and my heart rate is definitely up very high. Definitely breaking that sweat. You don't have to push it too hard here, especially when you're combining weights with your cardio. Keep those fingertips squeezed together so that the arms are strong. Try to avoid flailing them around. And you can feel some good upper body work here too. 15 seconds to go. Final 10. Let's go for one more after this. Okay, the last one here. All right, so in between each block, we'll take that 15-second rest. Just catch your breath. Then I'll show you the next movement, so we have a little extra recovery here. Go ahead and towel off. Grab some water if you need it. Okay, so the next block is all on the mat. The first one is going to be on your back. It's called a dead bug with a pullover. So the legs are up at 90, shoulder blades plugged down. We've got about 15 seconds. We're going to reach the kettlebell back as one leg goes forward and then pull it back up and then alternate those legs. We'll start in 10 seconds here. I'm going to move this kettlebell just to get it out of the way. Okay, 5 seconds. We start in 4, 3, 2, and 1. So the weight goes back, the leg goes forward. Slowly pull it back up, and then switch. Now you want to make sure that your head stays down on the mat, slow and controlled. So with that pullover, I'm working my back, my triceps. With the leg position and the leg movement, I'm getting a ton of core work here. Try to keep your knees right in line with the middle toes, and the elbows just in a soft bend. If that kettlebell starts to slip, try to get your heels of the hands underneath the dome part of it so that we don't have any bending in the wrists. And try to go super slow, reaching the heel all the way forward and the kettlebell back in 2 opposite directions. Maintain that length, and then try to avoid smashing your lower back down into the mat. Allow that natural curve there to exist. So this one and the next one are going to be core movements. Feeling a lot of tension in the abdominals here. Combining it with some back work, that's going to help you burn more calories when you combine 2 muscle groups. Should be just about there. Yep, we have 10 seconds to go. Remember, slow is the name of the game here. No rush at all. Save that for the cardio. Okay, let's go ahead and take a rest. Next one, we have 15 seconds and we're going into kneeling hip circles. So we're going to try to keep those hips square, knees square, so that nothing is moving but your arms. Oh, I'm going to alternate sides on this one. So we're going to circle it around, tap the handle, and go the other way. In 3, 2, 1. So this one's cool. It looks like it's super easy. Looks like not much is going on. It is requiring a lot of work for my core to not lean side to side or forward and back. Now your core is a cylinder, not just the abs on the front side. You have your sides, your back, the whole trunk area. So this is a really, really functional core movement because it's challenging all sides of that cylinder rather than just the front. When we do crunches and stuff like that, great core work, but it's only targeting one side. This is literally activating every single muscle of your core. And you're just trying to keep those knees square, hips square. We've got about 20 seconds here. And keep this area gently braced. You'll hear me say this a lot, like you have a corset on and it's wrapping you in tight. So my glutes are slightly squeezed, pulling the ribs together and the belly button back towards the spine. 10 seconds. Okay, so the cardio move I'll show you in 5. We're starting in a plank position in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take that rest. So we have 2 plank jacks and then 1 crossbody mountain climber. It looks like this. So 2 jacks, hips stay square, and then knee to opposite elbow. And we'll switch sides every rep in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. 2 jacks, and then knee to opposite elbow. Remember, we don't have to go too fast here. Heart rate is already up from that weight work. And I want to control the form here so I'm not allowing those hips to bounce up and down. And keep your abdominals braced just like we did for the first 2 moves. So this block is mostly about the core. Obviously we have some upper body with this plank position and with that pullover, but the main focus is the core. Head stays up in line with your spine. And we're about halfway there. Try to stay light on your feet for those plank jacks. And then when you do that cross climber, your shoulders stay square, but the hips can rotate. 15 seconds. For the plank, you have a soft bend in the elbows, and you can always turn your hands outward a little bit if that feels nicer on your wrists. Let's go for one more here. 2 plank jacks, even out that climber, and take a quick rest. All right, so there's our first set. We'll do it 2 more times. Let's go ahead and come onto our backs. We'll go back to that pullover in 5 seconds. Arms up, legs at 90. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super slow. See if you can reach back a little further. Make sure that the heels of your hands are below the kettlebell. So you're holding that lower dome side of it. And my hands are really light. So I'm trying not to squeeze it too hard with the hands so I can keep the tension in the core. Eyes are looking straight up. The breath here is inhale as you reach away. And then exhale as you pull everything back to center. So we've got to focus on keeping the tension in that midsection, right between the ribs and hips. That will support the lower back. And if we're not thinking of moving from the core or working from the core, there's a lot of other things that could take over here. If you're feeling your hip flexors, try to engage that midsection a little more by pulling the navel down. And then check that knee alignment. Knees right over those middle toes. Okay, we have about 20 seconds left here. Make sure those knees stop right over the hip bones so we're not coming in too much more than that. Once we do, that's when those hip flexors might start to take more tension. Okay, we have 10 seconds. Try to make sure those sides are even. Check those wrists. If you need to readjust the kettlebell, it's totally cool to do that. Let's even it out. And we get that quick rest. We'll come back into those hip circles. So the closer together your knees are for this one, the less stable you are. If you want more intensity, bring those knees a little closer each round. 5 seconds. Set 2. Back to those circles. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So I'm going to gently tap the side of the kettlebell before I switch. And then try to make sure the arms are not working too hard. They're just holding that kettlebell. Sometimes we'll see like that tight grip, or you'll feel the forearms taken over. Try to keep it super light, just like those swings. Whenever you're working with kettlebells, think of your arms just as a strap for that weight. Now the shape of the kettlebell, totally different weight distribution than dumbbells. So it changes the way that your muscles work by doing the exact same exercise with a different type of weight. Okay, we're about halfway there. Eyes stay up to eye level. And just try to keep everything still in this midsection. You want to avoid letting that kettlebell touch you. So you're kind of holding it away from your body just a couple of inches so we can keep those fluid circles. Okay, 15 seconds here. I love these exercises that look super easy and then you try it and you're like, what? Why is that so challenging? You'll probably be super sore in your core tomorrow if you've never done these before, just because it's a totally different way to work the abdominals. Also, when you do a new exercise that your body's never done before, we wake up muscles that you may have not felt. Okay, that was 1 minute. Go ahead and rest. Let's get ready for those plank jacks. Okay, so set up for that plank. You can have your fingertips forward, outward, or even onto those fists. We have about 5 seconds here. Hips in line with shoulders, little tuck of the tailbone. We start in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. 2 plank jacks. Remember, they don't have to be super wide. If you go too wide, you might feel the lower back arching or taking over. I like to actually keep my hips a little bit higher than everything else, just to support that low back. And check your alignment. Keep that soft bend into the elbows, head in line with spine, and try to get that knee as close to the forearm as you possibly can. Okay, we're a little over halfway. Maybe twist a little deeper with each rep and try to avoid bouncing with those jacks. All right, 15 seconds here, a few more. So the whole time I'm doing those plank jacks, super important that I'm pushing up away from the mat. This will prevent us from sinking into the wrists or the shoulders. Let's go for one more after this. 2 jacks, 1 tuck. Whew, let's take that rest. Feeling a lot of work in the arms here, just holding my body up. Okay, we have 1 more round. Let's take it back onto the mat. Final round, we have 5 seconds. 1 more time in 4, in 3, 2, and 1. So even though I'm going super, super slow, my heart rate is still up really high. It's gonna take a while for it to cool down after that high intensity work. So then we combine strength and cardio. We're getting double the benefit from this strength work by keeping the heart rate up and by switching from high to low intensity. That is going to significantly increase the amount of calories that you would be burning if you were doing just strength or just cardio. All right, check that alignment. The hips, the knees, the ankles are all in one perfectly straight line. Drive that heel all the way forward like you're gonna kick through that wall, and then reach that handle side of the kettlebell all the way back. I'm getting sweaty, I gotta readjust that kettlebell. And check your lower back, make sure that it's not excessively arched or pressing down. Just allow it to be natural and keep that corset on around your torso. All right, let's see where we're at. We have 15 seconds to go. Remember last time with this move, so see if you can maybe go even slower, maybe reach further back, find something that's gonna make it more challenging for you. All right, let's go one more here. All right, let that rest. Back into those hip circles. I'm gonna go a little closer with the knees on this one. And you'll notice it's a little bit more challenging to keep that even weight through your knees. Okay, in 3, 2, and 1, here we go. Last time with these. Try to keep those shoulders down away from your ears. And again, even weight through the knees. If you notice that your knees are transferring weight side to side, that's because the hips are moving. The goal here again is to keep hips square, ribs square, shoulders square, and it works the whole entire core to achieve that. If you feel like you're rocking side to side or forward and back, bring your stance wider. You can also do this standing. Kneeling is going to be a little bit more challenging because you're lower to the ground, you have less points of contact. So it puts a little more tension here because nothing else can help you except the high core. All right, just check in, glutes slightly squeezed, arms are light, and that kettlebell is always resting just gently in the bottom of your fingertips. We got about 20 seconds here. And try to keep it pretty close to your body without actually touching. All right, last few here. We'll go through that plank jack variation one more time. And we have one more block of work before that cool down. Let's go, one more each side. Okay, last one here. And let's set up for those plank jacks. Last set here, and we'll go into our final block. 10 seconds. All right, we start in 5 last time. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. 2 jacks. Now see if you can get that knee all the way to the elbow. Shift your weight forward. Try to increase that range on every rep. So it's okay if those shoulders hinge forward to make that connection. Just make sure that you go back before those plank jacks. Otherwise, there'll be a little bit too much pressure on your wrists or shoulders. Remember, the lower body can rotate as much as you want it to. Just try to keep that upper body nice and even. All right, halfway there. For our next block, final one, will be back up on our feet. Got a little upper body, a little full body. And then of course, finishing with the cardio movement. Okay, 15 seconds. Ooh, my sweat is dripping. All right, let's go 2 more. Okay, last one here. We get that longer recovery. Whew, go ahead and rest. So we'll take that 15-second rest, and then we'll prepare for our final block here. Okay, so the next one, here starting with a bicep 1.5 curl. So we're gonna come up on our feet. I'm gonna go light with this weight. I'm tired. This workout's hard. So we're gonna hold it by the sides of your kettlebell. Feet hip distance, soft bend in the knees. We're coming all the way up to the chest, halfway down, all the way up, and all the way down. In 3, 2, and 1, here we go. So full curl, down halfway, all the way back up, and then down all the way. So again, I'm trying not to squeeze those handles too hard, and then keep everything still except your elbow joints. My elbows are slightly in front of the rib cage. And just try to avoid leaning forward or back. Always keep the eyes to eye level so the neck stays aligned. And go slow. Faster we go, the more we are relying on momentum. Think of actually squeezing your lower arm bone to the upper arm bone. As a result, those biceps contract. All right, a little over halfway there. The next movement is one of my favorite exercises. but it's really hard. Sometimes I regret which exercises I program when I'm like, oh no, now I have to do it on camera. We're gonna go in 15 seconds. All right, a couple more reps here. Nice and slow. The slower you go down, the more control is required and the more work is happening. Let's go for one more here. Okay, next one, single arm snatch, alternating. So start in a squat position, kettlebell down. I'm gonna show you slow. It's like an upright row to a clean, to a press, come down, switch. This is what it looks like quick. Just try to keep that elbow close to the body. We start in 3, 2, and 1. So I'm gonna switch the kettlebell up to the shoulder, up to the ceiling, and then come out of it the same way you got there. So it's like an upright row to a clean, to a shoulder press. But what we want to think about here is using your legs and core way more than the arm. The arm is just holding the kettlebell, squeeze the glutes as you come up, and always look down at the bell as it goes down and eye level as it comes up. All right, this is another one. You're not going to hear me talking that much. My heart rate is up. Just try to focus on keeping this area nice and still. Most of that weight is in the heels of your feet. Okay, 15 seconds here. We have one more cardio movement. That will be the last exercise of the workout, and we'll just repeat it 2 more times. Make sure that elbow and kettlebell stay close to the body. Okay, one more on the right side. Whew, okay, catch that breath. Last movement. We have a lateral lunge to a squat. So not too high intensity cardio because that one was. So lateral lunge with a twist, come up, body weight squat, and then switch sides. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So we lunge with a twist, come center, squat down, and back up. Lunge, plant the foot, squat, and return. Now, if you want more intensity, make that a jump squat. Now, when you go into that twist, try to look past that middle finger. And if you want to come straight from the lunge, then plant your foot, totally do that. Or you can come up, slide the leg for a little bit more support. All right, again, if you want that higher intensity movement, make that a jump squat instead of a regular squat. All right, almost there, guys. Maybe about 20 seconds here. So even just by working full body, working that lateral movement, my heart rate is still up really high. We don't have to do any jumping to make it cardiovascular work. By incorporating multiple muscles, multiple ranges of motion, different spinal movements, and especially after that first previous exercise, this is definitely still cardio work. This is our last rep here. Let's catch that breath, and we'll go back to those bicep curls. To wipe that sweat, we have 2 more reps. All right, less than 10. Go ahead and grab that weight. Set your feet, fix your hair. We start in 3, 2, and 1. All the way up, halfway down, back up, then slowly release. So there's 3 ways to work a muscle. We have the concentric, the eccentric, and the isometric. Concentric is the contraction. So when I'm curling up, that's the contracting phase. When I hold, that's the isometric. When I'm going down, that's the eccentric, which is the lengthening portion. So in this movement, with the tempo, we're working all 3. Contract it, pause it, and then slowly lower, working to that eccentric. Focus on the rest of your body and keep it nice and still. 20 seconds here. And check your hands, try not to squeeze that bell too hard. I know once you get sweaty, it's kind of tough to do. Just check in. If you have 2 kettlebells of the same weight, I always recommend switching back and forth if you're feeling that sweat start to make it hard to hold. Okay, one more rep here. Halfway down, all the way up. Go ahead and rest. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this one from the side just so you can see a little bit more of my form for this next round. 10 seconds. We're gonna start in that squat. Remember, upright row, clean it, and press it. We'll start in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. When you come up, your eyes are looking straight to eye level. And again, just like those kettlebell swings that we did, we wanna make sure the hips go over the heels and we're not sending them too far forward. If you start to feel those hips lean forward, we're gonna have a little bit too much pressure on the lower back. Again, these don't have to be super speed. This is a super intense movement because we're working so many muscles, full body work. So this one's kind of a hybrid of strength and cardio. It could be either. Okay, make sure that head stays aligned. We have 20 seconds to go here. And check that back. Make sure that your hips are reaching way back behind those heels. Your heart is reaching forward. And you can do whatever feels natural with the opposite arm. Maybe fix your hair with it. And 10 seconds here. When you go into that press part, your bicep is right in front of your temple. All right, let's go. One more here. Okay. Two more sets here. We're gonna finish with that cardio, then we go through it one more time. So we have that lateral lunge, squat, or jump squat. We'll start to the left side this time. In 5. Big lunge, step as far as you can. In 3, 2, and 1. Lateral lunge, plant the foot, straight to that squat. Again, make sure that your eyes stay aligned. Now maybe go a little bit quicker with each round. Keep that spine nice and straight. And then again, you can do any arms you want for the squat. I like to find something centered so that I can feel even through both sides. So you're shifting your weight to the outside leg for the lunge, and then even out that weight for your squat. Check out the neck, see how it stays aligned with the shoulders the whole time. You'll hear me cue that a lot. It's super important where your neck is because it leads the rest of your spine. And if it's out of alignment, it can put unnecessary stress on your neck or your lower back. 15 seconds here. And keep that core brace the whole time. That will help to maintain the shape here. Final 10. Definitely feeling quads, inner thighs, glutes, obliques with that rotation. Okay, last one here. And let's catch that breath. One more round. So we've got about 3 more minutes to work. And then we'll take that cool down. 8 seconds. Grab that kettlebell. And last set of our bicep curls. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So really slow. Use this as an opportunity to cool down your heart rate, cool down your breathing, so we're not swinging around or flailing. Sometimes when we go from cardio to strength, the body is used to going super fast, so we tend to kind of like swing those weights and not get as much tension or control as we want to. So throughout this whole interval, focus on just regaining your breath, getting that heart rate back to normal, and really squeezing that upper half of the arm. Okay, we have like 25 seconds here. Last few reps. Check in, keep a light grip on that kettlebell. If you're like me and you're sweating, feel free to readjust that grip. So lower on that bell. Okay, last few reps here. You have about 15 seconds. All the way up, halfway down, back up, and all the way down. 2 more. All right, last one here. We have 2 more moves and we're done with the work portion. Go ahead and take that rest. Okay, last set of these snatches. So let's see if we can maybe go a little lower, maybe go a little bit quicker, and something that's gonna make it more intense. In 5 seconds. I like the legs a little wider than hip distance, but you do what feels good for you. In 3, 2, and 1, hips back. Remember that kettlebell stays super close to the body. It's almost like you're zipping a zipper up your midline. Keep it right at the middle, and then bicep to the ear as you bring it up. Back stays nice and flat. I'll show you one more option if you're feeling any lower back sensitivity. So when you go from the top, you can come down, bring the arm down, and then reset, rather than going straight from here to here. So you can break it up into multiple parts, kind of practicing the movement. Always a good option, especially if this movement is newer to you. Okay, about 15 seconds here. Press into those heels. Keep a soft bend in those knees. And try to keep those hips pretty even the whole time. All right, one more each side. Last one here. Whew, okay. Probably the last time I'll program those in an on-demand workout. Just kidding, I love that exercise. So good for full body. Okay, 8 seconds. We have one more set of that lateral lunge, and then we'll hit that cool down. In 4, in 3, 2, and 1. Side lunge. Let's make it a jump squat this time, why not? So every time you get to your second set, third set, I'd like you to try to find something that makes it a little more intense. Again, always listen to your body. If you're like, oh my God, this is so hard, do what you need to do. But I challenge you, if you have the energy, try to pick it up for this final round. So you point those toes in the air and then roll through those feet as you land. Try to always articulate that landing rather than a flat foot. This is a good way to keep more tension in your core, less stress on the joints. All right, over halfway. Again, do whatever arms feel good for you. Try not to overthink those arms. 15 seconds, maybe step a little wider. Okay, final 10. Let's go, one more each side. And we get that final rest in 3, 2, 1. Whew. Okay, so there's that work portion. We'll go through a quick cool down. So catch your breath first. Grab some water, towel off your sweat if you need to. When you're ready, meet me on the mat. Let's start with the figure 4. I'll show you a few variations. So one foot's flat, cross the opposite ankle over thigh. And again, just try to breathe, allow your heart rate to come down. And then if you want more intensity, wrap your hands behind the opposite thigh. We want to avoid pulling in front of the shin. This can compress the knee joint, so think of always pulling behind the thigh. And then drive this leg slightly forward so we're stretching out this side of the outer thigh. I like to rock side to side. Sometimes you can feel different areas of the glute. And then try to make sure that your foot is in line with your knee. Avoid dropping it down. You can have it higher, so make sure it's at least 90. And then when you're ready, go ahead and switch sides. You can start here. You can do that rock side to side from this position. If you feel a good stretch here, I really encourage you to stay there. There's no need to overdo it. If you're not feeling a good stretch here, try lifting that leg up. And then even just pushing this left thigh into the right ankle, like doing it with your body without your arms, this is a great stretch for me. If you need more, then you can pull behind that leg. And again, you're not squeezing too hard. Just give it a little bit of an extra stretch. Maybe rock side to side. And try to keep that knee in line with your foot. Sometimes you'll notice the foot is turning in or out. Always try to line that up in parallel. Okay, once you feel like you've created a little bit more space here, go ahead and come on up. Next stretch is going to be for our hamstrings and inner thighs. So one leg is straight out, one leg is bent. Again, try not to overthink that. And then we're going to lean towards the straight leg. Try to keep a flat back for as long as you can. Place the fingertips down. Now, the longer we hold here, the more we should be able to walk those fingertips out and increase the stretch. Try to avoid rounding down. This can overstretch the back. If you have any lower back tension, sensitivity, injuries, we want to really be mindful that we're keeping that straight spine. So it's not about holding forward all the way. You just want to feel a stretch in the hamstring here, inner thigh here, and again, I'm getting a little bit of an outer thigh stretch. If you have the mobility to go down lower without excessively rounding or feeling any pressure here in the back, totally cool to do that. And then play with your angles too. You can go further to the side, maybe to this side, just move around, find what feels good for you. I like to even add a little bit of a shoulder rotation sometimes. And then again, once you feel like you've increased a little bit more space, go ahead and switch sides. The same thing here, both sit bones are planted. Reach towards that straight leg, and then hinge forward, place your hands down. Big breaths in through the nose, fill up through here, and then as you exhale, notice how you can get a little deeper into that stretch. So by now, I finally start to feel like my breathing is more normal, my heart rate's a little bit more normal. It takes a while to cool down, so we want to make sure, especially with these high intensity workouts, we're always getting a cool down. The last thing that we want to do is abruptly stop the body after something so intense. Allow your body a chance to cool down. Okay, we have one more move here. Pretty simple one. It's a child's pose, one of my favorite positions. This is just going to help to stretch out that whole back, all the muscles around your spine. So knees are separated, a little wider than hip distance, toes together, and then just walk those hands out. Now this one, you can round your back a little bit because we're going to place the forehead down. So since you're supported, it's okay to let that back round. If we were to straighten the back here, there would be a little bit too much pressure on the neck by keeping the head up. So fully relax. And just breathe in through the nose, fill up that whole trunk area, and out through the mouth. Notice your belly button come closer to the mat. Again, you can add some rotation. This feels good to kind of stretch out that neck, upper back. We'll take one more breath here in through the nose. And deep breath out, let it go. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me. 45 minutes, strength, kettlebell work, and bodyweight cardio. Again, my name is Sam with StudioSweat On Demand. Hopefully I'll see you again back here real soon.